Hey guys, it's been a while. Welcome back to Lord of the Flies, the graphic novel. We are on chapter 3, and I'm just gonna get straight into it. But also, I'm gonna put this disclaimer up here again for people who might be new. This is a very gory, and violent graphic novel. I mean, the book itself is very dark, but this is, also the same. So, just strap in. Chapter 3, Huts on the Beach.
Up a bit.
Up a bit. Sorry.
Been working for days now. The little uns they're hopeless. The older ones aren't much better. All day I've been working with Simon. No one else. They're off bathing or eating or playing. You wouldn't care to help out with the shelters, I suppose. We want meat. And we want shelters. We need shelters because of They're frightened. They dream. You can hear them. They talk and scream as if this wasn't a good island. So we need shelters as a sort of home. That's right. The best thing we can do is get ourselves rescued. We've got to have special people for looking after the fire.
Any day there may be a ship out there, and if we have a signal going, they'll come and take us off.
I'll split up my choir, my hunters, that is, into groups. And we'll be responsible for keeping the fire going. Got it! Of course! They'll lie up there. They must do, when the sun's too hot. High up in the shade, resting during the heat like cows at home. We could steal up on one, paint our faces so they wouldn't see, perhaps surround them, and then... I was talking about smoke. All you talk about is pig, pig, pig. But we want meat. And I work all day with nothing but Simon, and you... I was working too. And you come back and don't even notice the huts. Don't you want to be rescued? Simon paused. The sounds of the bright, fantastic birds, the bee sounds, even the crying of the gulls that were returning to their roosts among the square rocks were fainter. The deep sea breaking miles away on the reef made an undertone less perceptible than the susurration of the blood. With the fading of light, the righteous colors died, and the heat and the urgency cooled away. Chapter 4, Painted Faces and Long Hair. The smaller boys were now known by the generic title of Littenwins. They ate most of the day, picking fruit where they could reach it. They cried for their mothers much less often than might have been expected. They were used now to stomach aches and a sort of chronic diarrhea. They suffered untold terrors in the dark and huddled together for comfort. Apart from food and sleep, they found time for play, aimless and trivial,
among the white sand by the bright water. Henry was a bit of a leader this afternoon, because the other two were Percival and Johnny, the smallest boys on the island. He was also a distant relative of that other boy whose mulberry-marked face had not been seen since the evening of the Great Fire. But he was not old enough to understand this. The subsoil beneath the palm trees was a raised beach, and generations of palms had worked loose in this the stones that had lain on sands of another shore. Roger gathered a handful of stones and began to throw them. Yet there was a space round Henry, perhaps 6 yards in diameter, into which he dare not throw. Here, invisible yet strong, was the taboo of the old life. Round the squatting child was the protection of parents and school and policemen and the law. Roger's arm was conditioned by a civilization that knew nothing of him and was in ruins.
For hunting, like in the war. You know, dazzle paint, like things trying to look like something else.
The mask was a thing of its own, behind which Jack hid, liberated from shame and self-consciousness.
Come on. I've been thinking about a clock. We could make a sundial. We could put a stick in the sand, and then... We got a lot of sticks. We could have a sundial each. Then we should know what the time was. Smoke! Smoke! Smoke!
Ralph started to run. The smoke was a tight little knot on the horizon and was uncoiling slowly.
Ralph! Is there a signal?
Ralph continued to watch this ship ravenously. He was using precious breath to swear.
Ralph, please! Is there a signal? Ralph! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! No! Please! No! They let the bloody fire out. Come back! Come back! Come back! Come back! Come back! Kill the pig! Cut her throat! Spill her blood! Kill the pig! Cut her throat! Spill her blood! Kill the pig! Cut her throat! Spill her blood! Kill the pig! Cut her throat! Spill her blood! Look! We've killed a pig! We hit the pig. I fell on top. I cut the pig's throat. There were lashings of blood. You should have seen it. You let the fire out. The fire's only been out an hour or two. We can light it up again. You should have seen the blood. We got in a circle. We crept up. The pig squealed. You and your blood, Jack Marridew. You and your hunting. There was a ship. Out there. We might have gone home. We needed meat. You didn't ought to have let that fire out. You said you'd keep the smoke going. You! You would you? That was a dirty trick. My specs. One side's broken.
Jack stood facing Ralph. He looked at Piggy, at the hunters, at Ralph.
All right. I apologize. Light the fire. Yeah.
And that is where we'll stop for today. Yeah, so there was a little bit of gore in that. They killed a pig. They were chaining the whole time. But yeah, it's gonna get a little bit more hectic, because the next chapter is about them finally talking about the beast again. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. I'm excited to continue this book. It's been fun. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.